Hey, this is Lovecraft and Art. We're going to be watching some creepy TikToks tonight. So if you've been looking for a thrill, look no further because we're going to jump right in.
Have you ever heard the creepiest conspiracy theory that a lot of celebrities have been on this planet for a lot longer than you think and have lived multiple lives? The theory goes that people in the past who garnered enough money, fame, or status were given the opportunity to be inducted into the Illuminati or the New World Order and have their DNA and memory extracted before they died and then saved so they can make clones of them and live over and over again. Others say vampires or time travelers, but the most popular theory is the multiple lives theory. Now let's take a look at some examples. First is Mark Zuckerberg, who looks like the old king of Spain and Portugal who would definitely have the means to clone himself. Jennifer Lawrence looks like old Egyptian actress Zubaida Therwat. Jimmy Fallon looks like an old Marxist revolutionary leader. Michael Jackson has apparently already lived multiple lives, including a royal in Egypt. Jay-Z, this one gives me chills. Eddie Murphy. And apparently each time they come back, they're smarter, better, know the secret to success, and can easily choose which life they want to live this time. Before I show the most shocking one, make sure you follow so you finally know what these other crazy celebrity conspiracy theories are and request which one you want to see next. The most shocking that's been debated by the public for years is Keanu Reeves. People say he's immortal, but the multiple lives theory works here as well, as he's already lived as Charlemagne, a famous painter, and a famous actor. When asked about it, he didn't deny it, he laughed it off, but the crowd was scared.
The Earth, since you've just been around, there's just different generations. I just wanted to show you, just
We're
in case.
all stardust, baby. I can see it. We have a likeness in the eyes,
Yeah.
and the nose, and the mustache, and the beard, and the cheekbones, and the forehead.
But that's the real.
Oh,
Flat.
Go to Google Earth.
Proven.
Measure from one point to the other, and it won't connect. Now, measure around Antarctica. It won't connect. Measure around Brazil. Connects. Measure around Africa. Connects. Measure around the North Pole. Does not connect.
Alexa, why does Agenda 2030 discourage private property ownership?
From AmazingDiscoveries.org. The key feature of this action plan that causes concern is the agenda's restriction and regulation of private property, believing humans are not good stewards of the earth and that private land ownership is a principal method of accumulating wealth that leads to social inequality.
Alexa, why is population control an important aspect of Agenda 2030?
From UNFPA.org. Continued rapid population growth presents challenges for achieving Agenda 2030 for sustainable development, particularly in sub-Saharan Africa where countries must provide healthcare services, education and eventually employment opportunities for the growing numbers of children and young people.
Alexa, how do zones for economic development and employment zones create private governments?
From appnews.com. The zones would permit companies with large areas of land to form governments carrying the same authority as counties, including the ability to impose taxes, form school districts and courts, and provide government services.
Alexa, why are zones for economic development and employment zones controversial?
From UNCTAD.org. Since many first-generation zones often pursued an investment attraction strategy centered on low wages and lax employment conditions, zones have been criticized for enabling the violation of worker rights across a range of dimensions.
Alexa, will NGOs replace governments in Agenda 2030?
From clgf.org.uk. The final 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development lists local authorities as key development actors to partner with national government to take the agenda forward, and when referring to government, the goals talk of government at all levels.
Alexa, what action plan was created during the first Earth Summit in 1992?
From gdrc.org. In 1992, at the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, world leaders adopted Agenda 21, the Global Action Plan for Sustainability, which calls on all countries of the world to undertake a comprehensive process of planning and action to attain sustainability.
Alexa, what Goldman Sachs executive created the term BRICS?
From financialcareers.com. The term was coined by then Goldman senior partners Robert Rubin and Stephen Friedman in the 1990s, and ex-Goldmanites have since brought it to Morgan Stanley.
Alexa, when was the first BRICS Nations Summit held?
From mapsofindia.com. The first summit was held on June 16, 2009 in Yekaterinburg, Russia.
Alexa, how involved are the BRICS nations in Agenda 2030?
From sovereignaustralian.org. They are included in a UN resolution called the 2030 Agenda, or what is colloquially known as Agenda 2030.
Mm-hmm. There you have it.
Everything seemed normal as the president's Secret Service bodyguards kept their ever-watchful eyes on the crowd. Everything seemed normal as the president's motorcade began its journey. Everything seemed normal. That is, up until this instant. What took place is so odd that we're going to examine the scene 4 more times. Watch the left side of your screen. The arrow points to Agent in Charge, Emery Roberts, as he stands in the Secret Service follow-up car and motions with his hand. What he is doing is calling away the president's 2 most important bodyguards, the bodyguards whose job was to protect the president's back by riding on the bumper of the limousine throughout the motorcade. Watch again as he stands and orders the agents running at the rear of the president's car away. Watch the confusion inside the follow-up car that results. Now watch the right side of your screen. The arrow points to one of 2 agents whose job was to hop aboard the bumper and act as human shields. He's obviously perplexed. Watch as he shrugs his shoulders 3 times in dismay, each shrug more dramatic than the last. As you watch this scene for the final time, ask yourself, is this the kind of conduct you would expect from an agency that routinely sends an advance team to a city a month or more prior to the president's arrival in order to make preparations? Now ask yourself if the assassination could have taken place at all had those men been on the bumper during the motorcade. This is the rear of the presidential limousine. The back bumper is specially designed with a platform on both the right and left sides. There are also handrails on both sides of the trunk. This is where the agent should have been to provide the president even minimal security. The president, unaware of the treachery behind him and the danger waiting for him ahead, continued on to his death.